Australians by nature are adventurous. Off-road caravanners seek to find locations off the beaten track. Outback roads, graded and corrugated four-wheel drive dirt tracks and water crossings can constantly challenge the components of your off-road caravan. The last thing you want to think about when halfway across the Gibb River Road is whether your caravan will make it in one piece unscathed. Not all off-road caravans are created equally. Some have an unfair but smart advantage. Welcome to Free Spirit Caravans. A quality caravan begins even before a chassis is built. It begins in the mind of the caravan designer. The thought process takes into account your lifestyle, destinations, towing capability, needs and wants. The Free Spirit Caravans design team understand that you want to travel to exciting and remote places without compromise. The journey begins here in this factory on the Sunshine Coast.
Good morning, Mark.
How are
I'm
you?
Shane from Free Spirit Caravans.
Hi, Shane. Good to meet you.
Our facility for your tour. And welcome to Free Spirit Caravans, Mark, and thanks for coming along for the tour.
Thank
A couple of details I'd like to get from you before we proceed so that we can best address your requirements in a caravan. So some of the things we'd like to know is how did you hear about Free Spirit Caravans?
Online.
Online. And did you see our website?
Yes.
Yep. What did you think of that?
Yeah, no, website's good. Yeah.
And do you have a van now?
No.
No van. And what about a tow vehicle, Mark? Do you have a
200 series cruiser.
200 series cruiser? Our core business is building light and strong caravans, as light as we can get them without compromising the integrity. A lot of our research has gone into our chassis. We are one of the only manufacturers that make an aluminium one-piece chassis. So the whole chassis is aluminium. It's made of T6 aluminium, which is a structural aluminium. It's the strongest and lightest of its kind on the Australian market. The chassis rails are cold rolled, so one piece for each rail.
Yep.
And all of the cable trays and auxiliary components on the chassis are also of aluminium. Our other point of difference is because we make the aluminium chassis, we also have another innovative feature, which is our independent airbag suspension. So we do airbag suspension with double shock absorbers and safety chains. So we're the only manufacturer offering the aluminium chassis and airbag suspension as a standard feature of the caravan. Obviously, I mentioned we're trying to save weight. So our floor is a one-piece honeycomb structural floor, and our walls and our roofs are made of core foam, fire-rated, insulated and vacuum bag fiberglass. But the chassis rails on this particular caravan can also include water storage capability. And in a 19-foot 6 caravan, you'd be looking at an extra 220 litres approximately of water stored in both of those rails, apart from your standard water tanks that come as part of the standard inclusions in the vehicle.
Storage.
Yeah, it is, especially if you're doing some free camping. Okay, Mark, so what we have here is our aluminium chassis that we discussed earlier inside. As you can see, this is the chassis rails that double up as water. You'll notice that they've been rolled at the front, turned, so no heat's gone into that. They've been turned in a machine, so cold rolled.
Yep.
This is the cradle that carries all your plumbing, your gas, your electrical. So everything runs through here, and then we do incursions through the floor. This is all foam filled down the track so that none of your cables rub against each other. No friction,
no vibration.
No chance for friction or vibration. This chassis, as you can see, has our airbag suspension under it that we discussed earlier. So we can tweak the suspension slightly to achieve a better ball weight for your tow vehicle and your caravan. Mark, after seeing the chassis, this is the next part of our build process. So the chassis moves around and the plumbing and the wiring goes into the cable trays I showed you earlier. And then we put down a one-piece structural floor. It covers the whole of the cradle and the rest of the componentry, and then we put the vinyl down. Following that, we'll insert your walls, so usually the two side walls and followed by the back wall. As you can see here, it's got some of the elements up there to hold it all nice and straight. And that's prior to us putting on the one-piece roof. A change in our process recently has been we've made the vans more rounded on the front, and that's helped us do a one-piece roof so that your roof material, which is 50mm thick, begins here and it's taken right through to the back at the top of the caravan. On the sides, you'll notice that we've routed out here in the foam, the core foam we talked about earlier in the presentation, and that's to assist in the gluing process, so it's got somewhere to grip.
Yeah.
As you can also see, some of the furniture's begun to go in this one. We do a lightweight aluminium cube furniture, so all of our cabinetry is made of cube aluminium, made on site here, and then and that saves a lot of weight. It's very rigid, very lightweight, and helps us in our core business of dropping the weight of the caravan. I mentioned earlier about the extrusions and the roundedness of the front part of the caravan and the roof structure. So this is what I was talking about, and you can see already that they've started to cap parts of it so it won't look as agricultural.
Yep.
So this is where the vans are finished. So at this point here, the cube block furniture's in, and we'll begin the process of building the kitchens and adding bench tops and finishing off wiring, etc. All of that. This particular van's a little bit further down the production path, and you can see it's got jerry can holders, gas bottles, and the tong box fitted. Mark, thanks for coming into Free Spirit Caravans today and doing the tour. It was great to be able to show you around.